It's Yannis Raouzeos from Greece. Thank you for this astonishing work. I mean, it was really, really great work this time. Even better, I would say, than Titane a few years ago. So much better, I would say. In a very good manner. I mean,
I take it. I mean,
yes.
it's
It
a
was
path
great.
forward. Thank you.
And I would definitely like to speak a little bit about this combination of familiarity and unfamiliarity in this film and in your other films, but we speak about this one, and the role of all this combination of dreamy-like atmosphere, the bleak colors of the present, the more colorful but still sad colors of the past, that create a touch of the uncanny, as we can describe.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit more about what uncanny is for you as a notion in art in this film and in your work in general. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for your question. I love it. I think the word uncanny is absolutely right. Absolutely right. I really like this word, actually. I think, I don't know if you, I mean, you'll tell me, I don't know if you've noticed, but I slipped some I tried to make it unpretentious, but slipping some references is always pretentious. So let's take it on me that I'm being pretentious doing that. But I slipped some little references of Edgar Allan Poe in the film, who's obviously one of my favorite authors. And, well, there is The Dream Within a Dream in the classroom. There is The Mask of the Red Death in the bar. There is something that you actually don't see, except if you pause it and maybe you zoom into the image. But the bus stop where she goes at the end of the film is called Valdemar, which is from The Curious Case of Mr. Valdemar. Anyway, so the term of uncanny is absolutely precise and just here. I think as far, let's say, to differentiate the way I used it in Alpha compared to Raw and Titan, is that in Alpha I really tried to aim at it in a very, let's say, in a more exposed way than I used to, in the sense that as much as I wouldn't define this film as a genre film, to me it's a drama. I do convey some very unrealistic iconography in it. But I tried all my best, because if I had, again a digression, I think it would have been against my intention with this film. I tried to destroy this kind of like glass ceiling there is in genre, which is the distance. Because genre brings you a safety distance to what you're seeing. Obviously, you know, ghosts are not real. I mean, some people think they are, but that's their thing. But like, ghosts are not real. Like, I don't know, like a huge monster, like King Kong is not real or whatever. You know, you're not going to get out of the theater being chased by a serial killer with a white mask or whatever. So there is this safety distance, right, where you're scared on the moment, but then when you get out of the room, you just go on with your life and you have cathesized. That's something that as an audience, I love. I'm a huge fan of that, right? But here I tried to do almost the opposite. I really tried to not use, let's say, I don't want to say genre, let's say unrealistic imagery in a way that actually exposes me first, and hopefully you as well, in your zone of discomfort as far as your own body is concerned, as far as your mortality is concerned, and more importantly, as far as your vulnerability is concerned, because this is how you can have emotion seeping in like this. And the way I present the first few times where I present the disease in the film. It's never an installation. It's just something you pass by, you see that, and you're like, yeah, because there is nothing happening. This is people dying. You know, it's not like, I don't want to make any effect around it. They could look like whatever they look like. They're people dying, and they're people who need health care badly. And that's all I wanted to portray there. You know, like I tried to not make you feel safe in that distance in the way that I wanted you to believe that that disease is a disease, all right, and that's it. So this is something that is flirting between familiarity and unfamiliarity in a very insidious way, I think. And when I thought about this idea of the recumbent effigies that they become eventually when they die, I thought about many things. One, for me, it was a way also to elevate the mortality of all the people that we lost in the pandemic in the 80s and 90s to something very sacred in a non-religious way. Obviously, for me, sacred always comes from the human in us, always comes from humanity. And it was a way for me to make them beautiful, to build a monument to them, and to make them eternal in a way. And also there's the same kind of relationship I have towards the red wind at the end, because Alpha ends up with a lot of red dust on her, like the memories of all that we lost are still under her skin, and they will remain there at the same time. You know, it's like the mourning is happening, the grieving is happening, but they're there, you know, they're under the skin, and that's important to me. And the second reason why I chose this idea of the recumbent effigies is because I wanted to see within one body coexist life and death. To some extent, I did this in Titan with the metal, but metal is still can be still a very alive material, because metal can be in fusion. It can change, you know. Stone doesn't. Stone is dead stone. Like, there is nothing, like the only thing you can get from it is dust, but dust is still stone. It cannot mutate. So for me, the absence of mutation, generally in life, is the equivalent of death for me. If you don't transform things, you are dead, all right? That's how I see things, because I believe in mutation, and I believe in transformation. And so I wanted the uncanny part is where it coexists within the very lively flesh and something that is definitely deprived of any form of life. And I think that's a very disturbing image, and that's the closest I can express my fear of death. Yeah.